Welcome back. The United States is announcing a new round of sanctions against Israeli settlers in the West Bank. The State Department says 2 Israeli outposts are being used to instigate violence against Palestinians by violent settlers who are living in those outposts. They have been attacking Palestinians, sometimes killing them. This is the first time the Biden administration has imposed sanctions against the entire outposts instead of just the individuals in them who are committing this violence. It's also complicated because these Israeli settlements are technically illegal. They violate international law and are illegal under the 1993 Oslo Accords, which designated the West Bank as Palestinian territory. Well, tonight, NewsNation goes inside some of those illegal settlements for a reaction to these latest sanctions. NewsNation's Robert Sherman is live in Tel Aviv. Robert, what have you learned?
Well, Elizabeth, everyone is in agreement that since October 7th, the friction is impossible to miss. And one person may have said it best. Right now, trust between many of these communities is hard to come by.
Here, I feel peace, I feel ease, I feel home, even though the surrounding neighbors aren't much fond of us.
Aharon Idinov is an Israeli living in the West Bank, what's colloquially known as a settler. Here, Jewish and Arabic communities run up against one another. And Idinov says right now, tensions are high.
What happened on the 7th started like the fuse. And the feeling is it's going to the way of blowing up.
Already, there have been multiple terrorist attacks this month in the West Bank, including a stabbing at a checkpoint Wednesday. But the source of all the tension depends on who you ask. The U.S. imposing a new round of sanctions on Israeli settlers this week for instigating violence. The first time the U.S. has sanctioned entire outposts. Jawad Abul Rafamad is a Palestinian living in the West Bank. He doesn't think sanctions will do much to stop the violence, but refuses to be pushed away.
For me, I am living in my house and my land, and I will not go anywhere. I will not leave.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken calling Israel's February announcement of more settlements in the West Bank disappointing.
New settlements are counterproductive to reaching an enduring peace. They're also inconsistent with international law.
The Biden administration making clear they believe enduring peace includes a two-state solution.
You will create an intrinsic state of destabilization in the Middle East.
Daniel Winston is a settler himself who believes they are being scapegoated and fears a sovereign state of Palestine will put terror on Israel's doorstep. National security has been one of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's main arguments against a two-state solution.
Came here in 2007, and we've been here since then.
Avraham Eastman and his wife Ruthie are settlers who moved to Israel from the States over a decade ago. If the Iowa T-shirt didn't give it away, Eastman loves football, and he even coaches it here. He makes clear he's not going anywhere and isn't on board with a two-state solution, but believes it is possible for everyone to get along.
I have football players that are Arabs, and they're some of my best players. That's what Ben Gurion wanted. He wanted Jews and Arabs to live side by side. It's difficult, but it's doable.
One common thread that we found is that everyone wants to feel safe, they want to feel secure, and hope to one day get to a point where they can live and let live. Some more optimistic that that day will come than others, but that is the overarching goal that just about everyone we spoke with hopes to see one day. Elizabeth?
Issue the violence there. There have been many things caught on video showing armed settlers shooting and attacking and burning down Palestinian shops, Palestinian homes, killing Palestinian victims. So this is it precedes October 7th, but it's picked up some steam, right, since October 7th?
Yeah, I would say so, Elizabeth. I mean, that tension has always been there. That friction has always been there. But some of the people who we spoke with said that there was a certain degree of trust. I mean, you heard one person there, Mr. Eastman, talking about how you've seen some of these communities living together and coinciding with one another here. So it's not all-encompassing, all of the friction here, but it is certainly heightened in recent weeks and recent months. And again, you go back to that word trust. People feel as though That's lacking right now.
President Biden has said repeatedly that the violence by the West Bank settlers has been extremely counterproductive to any sort of peace deal or negotiations to release those hostages. So I know that's been a big priority. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.